Hey everyone, it's Friday the 15th of May and it's 49 days since our initial lockdown here in South Africa. I remember when lockdown started, there was a huge amount of camaraderie and togetherness. People were looking out for each other, thinking of others, and particularly we were thinking about the vulnerable in our community. How were we going to keep them healthy? How were we going to keep their tummies fed? How were we going to make sure that their livelihoods and the economy could still remain active for them? And at the very heart of being a follower of Jesus, it really is this essence of serving others at the expense of yourself. Jesus encapsulates this when he goes to die on the cross, to give up his life that we might receive life. He lays down his rights and his privileges. I don't know if you've noticed it, but it certainly has been something I've noticed over the last few days and weeks, is that public sentiment seems to have shifted a little. From the articles we read in the newspapers, from the conversations we're having on the streets, and even the conversations we're having in some of our community groups. There seems to be a shift towards now our own individual rights in this time of lockdown. When can I exercise? When can I take my family out for a walk on the beach? When can I buy some alcohol? When are my children going to be able to go back to school? And there seems to have been a public shift now towards a very centered me kind of question and approach. And I just really want to encourage you that this is an opportunity for us as followers of Jesus to be countercultural. When COVID-19 hit us and there was this huge camaraderie, the public response was one. There was one heart of we're in this together. But as society begins to fracture a little, and as people now begin to be more concerned about their own needs, I'm not saying we don't need to care for our needs. Paul puts it in Philippians chapter 2 verse 4. He says, let us not only consider our needs, but let us consider the needs of others too. And it really is the heart of God's love that we would be willing to sacrifice our needs for the sake of others. I want to encourage you, as much as you're questioning what next for you, I want to encourage you right now to keep in the front of your mind those in your ecosystem who are in desperate need. Those who depend on you, some of your friends in your community group, maybe people who work for you. There are people in all of our lives who are still incredibly needy. I want to encourage you to be countercultural in this very moment, and not to look only to your needs and not to think only of your sacrifices in this time, but continue to outpour love towards those around you. This is actually impossible for a human person to do on their own. And the only way we can do it is to be continually connected to the love of God. So once again, take a moment to reconnect with Jesus. Fill yourself with his love that was sacrificial, his love that laid his rights down in order to serve and to love those that he wanted to reach. And let's allow his love to flow through us. And as many in our society now continue to jostle and fight for what they deserve and what they need, let God's people arise and continue with this overflowing heart of care and concern for those who are needy, especially for those who are most vulnerable in our communities. All my love to you, and hope you guys have a great weekend.